Amanda here from createyourfuture.co. So today we have Ani joining us. Hi, Ani.
Yay!
Guys, we have a really exciting video for you today. We have a success story from one of Ani's clients. And I mean, this client completely changed her life around. And she actually manifested a new boyfriend who actually made it official and a commitment, as well as her parents didn't actually like him at first, but she actually changed that around. So we are actually going to go through the success story, and then we're going to talk about everyone as you pushed out and how you can actually change and recreate people, and yeah, as well as a few other tools that you can apply to your life to make your manifestation happen. So yeah, Sonny, let's hear the story.
Yes! So here it goes. Dear Ani and Amanda, thank you, thank you, thank you. Everything you both have taught me has led me to where I am today. I had my coaching session with Ani 3 weeks ago, and my life has completely changed for the better. Ani, when I had my session with you, I was such a mess. I had really got myself in a rut, and I just didn't know how to get myself out of it. I have known about manifesting for 4 years, and I was and am very good at it, but I knew I needed some help and guidance. After my last breakup over a year ago, mentally I had just let myself slip, and I got myself mentally stuck in a place where I was creating more problems for myself than wonderful creations. From watching Amanda's videos for nearly a year now, I have completely changed the way I think about manifesting and how easy and simple it is. I always think about the fried chicken story with Andrew, and when something is not going my way, it's no, no, no. Amanda got her chicken, and I will get what I want too. It always works.
Wait, I do know how much chicken I've gotten since that day. Like, it's crazy. Like, yeah. Anyway.
I told Ani the reason I booked my session with her is because one, I love the stories and successes that she has shared on the YouTube channel, but two, because sometimes it's just nice to have someone listen to you and point you right back on the correct path. I really just need a little hand holding and direction. Throughout the session, all I could keep saying was thank you. The way Ani explained things I thought I knew taught them in a new light and just really clarified how easy manifesting is. Was worth every minute. I got to listen to how passionate and great Ani is at coaching. Thank you.
Aw.
As I said before, my mind just seemed to be on a mental block, but I was very aware of this. I hadn't let things go from the past, and I kept looking at everything I was just trying to manifest as difficult to obtain. So, of course, it was. I think the thing that I took out of the session the most was that I need to be consistent with my thoughts and just persist through everything. Otherwise, I can't change my thought patterns. I personally think there has been a lot of conflicting ideas about persistence, but out into manifesting communities. Everything, but after what Ani has taught me, and especially the way she explained it, blew my mind. The only way to change your thoughts to get what you want is to just push through your doubts and keep it going. It will happen. So within the 3 weeks, I have manifested so many wonderful things. I didn't have an SP when I had my session. Literally the day after my session with Ani, I matched with this guy on a dating app, and we are now officially together in only 3 weeks. He is everything that I have been looking for in a partner and more. There was a few complications at the start, as he is not what my parents would have thought I wanted in a boyfriend. Tattoos, piercing, and they were a little upset at the beginning, but what do I do? What did I do? I took everything that Ani has taught me, and now my parents couldn't be happier for me. My dad met him for the first time last night, and they really got on. I don't think I would have been able to do that without my session with Ani. Him and I were talking about when we wanted to become official, as it has been quite a short amount of time, and maybe we should wait a little longer, but I just tested the waters. I said in my head, I intend he asks me to be his girlfriend tonight, then dropped it. Not even 10 seconds later, he turns to me and says, I think we should just rip the band aid off now and do it now. Literally seconds. Honestly, everything I want in a partner, and he ticks every box I put on my ideal partner list. He even goes beyond it. I can't explain how happy I am and how crazy it is. I have also manifested an awarded place on a diploma course which starts in October, which I am super excited and very happy about, and manifested 3 job interviews as well as lots of fun little things. Ani, you are amazing, and I know I said it to you repeatedly through our session, but just thank you so much. You really have helped change my manifesting, which is changing my life. The same to Amanda. You guys are incredible. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Oh my goodness. It's so, I love hearing this kind of stories where, somebody learns how they actually create and they're able to grasp it and understand it and just start changing things in their life. And I think it's amazing. One thing actually that I wanted to bring up that we actually didn't talk about before this video, but only it just kind of came to my mind is we always get this question of, when are you supposed to just think about it and drop it? And when are you supposed to persist in it? And I just wanted to quickly explain that and answer that question. So when it comes to thinking about it and dropping it, you can do that as long as you have zero resistance, okay? Because your last thought on the subject is what goes out there. So if your thought is, oh, he's going to ask me out, but then it's like, nah, he doesn't want to. Well, then you're going to have to go back to he wants to ask me out, because you have to make sure that the last thought that you have on the subject is the thought that you want. Because if you think, oh, you know what, he's going to ask me out, nah, he probably doesn't want to, then you drop it, you've just landed on, he probably doesn't want to, and he's probably not going to. So that's really where it comes from. It's not about, it's not, the magic isn't in dropping it. The magic is in having more thoughts towards what you want and leaving it on the note that you want, right? It's like ordering a pizza, very much so. Yeah.
I agree. That's why we say do those mini manifestations with, those small things that you have no resistance towards. The reason they come so quickly and they give you like a confidence boost, and you just realize like, wow, everyone is me pushed out like immediately, is because these things you last leave that assumption of, okay, yeah, I intended this, and then you just naturally drop it and you don't really think about it throughout the day. But when it comes to SP, most likely you have maybe blocks, or you have certain assumptions about him or whatever you're trying to manifest. That's why we say persist and intend.
Oh yeah, I mean, anything we, good luck thinking about your SP ones and then dropping it. Like, just good luck with that. Good luck doing that with anything you really, really want. Like, it just isn't going to happen. I think already this morning, I probably talked about Andrew at least 50 times, like seriously, and thought about him like at least 50 times. Like, it's just the way it goes when it comes to things that we care about that are near and dear to us. But I like exactly what Ani said was, make those lists of little things that everyone is you pushed out, whether it's, someone buying you a coffee, or somebody wearing a red sweater, or somebody saying something, and, really build your confidence in it. Just like, in the success story, she referred back to my chicken story. Well, just in case you guys haven't heard, I wanted, I intended that Andrew would bring me fried chicken. And the reason why I intended it was because I knew, because he knew I was cooking dinner, and I knew that without a doubt, if he brought that, and then he brought it, and I was shocked. I was like, okay, you know what? If he brings me that, I can do anything, because that was a real big moment of everyone is you pushed out. And when you have these moments, it hits you in the face, then you have enough belief in your intentions and how the process works, that you can just intend it and drop it and not have that mental fight with yourself, right? That my fight goes like this. Oh, you know what? I intend this. Oh, is he going to do it? Of course he is. Everyone's you pushed out, done. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
You want to build that belief, and you want to have that as your thought process, right?
Absolutely. And the reason why, when it comes to something you really, really want and you're struggling with it, is because either you're forgetting everyone is you pushed out and you're going back to that reactor mode, right? Where everything just happens to you and you hope for the best. Wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You don't hope for the best, you intend, because you are in control. That's why for me at least, it's really important, that list, because that list gives you so much of a confidence boost. Like, when you see it working, right? How can you like be like, whatever, no, it doesn't work with SP? You can't, because it's so specific. Those things that you're asking for manifest so specifically, where you're like, okay, well, if that's the case, then let me have my SP bring me some fried chicken. Let me have him say I love you, right? Let's go out on a date. Let's go out on a romantic, trip together.
Exactly. Well, the trick with the list, though, is make it things that you have zero resistance to, right? One thing that I knew was difficult for me was coming up with things for that list. So everybody actually watching, if you want to comment in the comments below some suggestions of what people can do for that list. So, for instance, someone calling you or saying something or wearing something in particular, throw it down in comments. Let's give each other a little bit of help here for those lists, right? Opening doors for you, strangers saying hi, people buying you coffee. I mean, just things like that, right? Yeah.
Yes. I want to note, persisting is key. Why? Because you have a majority of your life, or like a long amount of time, let's say, of thinking about whatever you want in a different way, versus when you're intending and you're keeping a good mental diet. It's two completely different things. When you realize you have to keep a mental diet to manifest what you want, or you have to intend, there's that persistence. You discipline yourself. You write down what you want in the morning when your mind is fresh. You put that intention in for the day. You repeat it every time you feel like static or anxious. Repeat it. Don't let yourself go back to just like hoping for stuff, or maybe life just happens to me. Life doesn't just happen to you. You can create consciously where you want how the journey, the path, which way you want to go.
You're right. You're right. Ani, you're 100% right. It's about changing our thought patterns and changing the thoughts that are on autopilot. And that's the biggest part of recreating people is, having that faith in everyone as you pushed out, but also persisting in those thoughts. And just like this client changed her parents' opinion of this guy, you can change anyone's thoughts and opinions, right? It's just the way it works. Everyone as you pushed out. And the more that you do that little list it and build it up, the better. And yeah, you know what? Ronnie nailed it. Stay on your mental diet. Keep persisting. You've got to change your thought habits. And she pointed out something really important is when you're feeling anxiety, you're falling back into the old thought patterns. Pull yourself out of it. Start, thinking, and when your mental diet, your new intentions. And if your new intentions are good and they're covering all your doubts, then you're not going to go back to the anxiety.
And if you do go back to any type of static in your head or any type of anxious feeling, it's okay. You're human. You're not a robot. It's okay to feel that, feeling for a bit, but as quick as you can, snap out of it, because you are using that time. It's like your power is so precious, right? Your focus and your energy should be used all the time for things that should serve you or things you want, instead of static and the old way of thinking and panic.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? And don't beat yourself up, and don't worry about the negative thought that you had. Just move on from it, and chances are sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't. Just move on. Just go back to what you want. And you know what? Even when a negative thought that I've had manifest, I use it as wow, it's not broken. It's all good. It's all good. I use it as a confirmation that my thoughts are still creating, and and it's like, wow, you know what? Yeah, I had that thought. Oh, it showed up. Okay, I still do it. This works still. Well, funny that. And then to not take it seriously because I know I can change it because I created it. And I think that's the biggest thing here is to just like let it flow in and happen, and not make it bad things seem like they're so unchangeable and that they're the end of the world, because they really aren't. They were just as fluid as any other intention that you have, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anytime something happens to you and you don't like it, take that as amazing feedback. Take that as, all right,
Yeah.
I need to get back to my intentions, right?
Exactly, right? Exactly. And and it really, it doesn't take much once you shift the balance in there, and I think that's one of the most important things is just do it. And you never start over. It's not a start over, and it's a continuous ongoing thing. So, as things may, you're doing a good mental diet for like 5 days, and then you fall off of it. It's okay. You're not starting over. There is no such thing as starting over and ending and ruining things. Just go back onto it, and it'll just flow. It'll just flow. I mean, haven't you ever had a conversation where you've like, okay, you wanted to do something, or you wanted somebody to do something for you, and then they said no, but within the same conversation, they changed their mind and said yes?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's how quick these things can happen, and you can change things that quickly and that fluidly by just not dwelling and focusing on how the no is such a big deal and how it's never going to change, because you're making it unchangeable with that, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, I, yeah.
And
Mhm.
how you mentioned you didn't like when you said you don't mess up the whole thing like for 5 days if you're on a roll and then one thing happens, see it as if you dwell on this bad thing, you're pausing. You're putting yourself on pause. You're not going back to square one and like deleting everything that you did. Actually, you've grown way more in the past time that you've been disciplining yourself than when you first started.
Exactly. And not everything's going to go back. But then, as soon as you go back to mental diet and start creating more evidence, the more belief you get, to a point where, like if I was to say right now that, oh, Andrew doesn't want to be with me, that's not a belief. It's like, yeah, right. It's not even going to manifest, because it's not. But if I keep persisting on it, okay, it will end up showing up. So it goes both ways. Okay. So, you know what? Be happy that thoughts sometimes just don't show up like that. And it does take persistence. Even though when we want something, it's like, oh, I got to persist through. But guess what? When you get it and things are going good, you can't just ruin them like that. You have to persist down that road. I know many people I've heard, in the past, clients, they say, well, you know what? I'm not surprised. I know how I manifested the breakup. It took 2 or 3 months, because they know, they were having these thoughts, and it didn't just manifest like that, because they did think the person wanted to be with them, and then they pushed it down the other way, right? So it goes both ways, because there is no good or bad, or success or failure. It's just our thoughts and what you get, right? And that's all it is, right? So it's going to take just as much effort to create something you don't want as something you do want, right? If the belief isn't there, it takes the same amount of effort to go either way. So put your effort and focus on what you want, for sure.
I think personally, I think this is a discipline. This is you mastering your old self that maybe
Mhm.
felt like a victim or maybe felt helpless,
Yeah.
to you realizing how much power you carry and how you can change your life. It's a discipline, but it's so worth it. I promise you, every time you get your manifestation and you look back to who you used to be and how helpless you used to feel, you're like, wow, I've come so far, you know?
Yeah. Oh, completely. Completely. No, you've nailed it. It's a lifestyle change. It's a change in how we think. And it is about being disciplined and focused, and, and keeping ourselves focused on that, and making sure that we're investing our thoughts in what we actually want, rather than, spending them on worries and anxiety, when we're creators, and, everyone is you pushed out, and nothing in that world is going to happen that you haven't already created. So there's nothing to be worried about. There's nothing to be scared about. There's nothing to be anxious about. You're the universe experiencing yourself, so go out there and create some wonderful things to experience. Go consciously create things that you're going to enjoy. You
Yeah.
all deserve it. You all deserve it.
I know. I
Oh,
wanna
good.
I wanna thank my client for writing this, and thank you
Yeah.
so much. We appreciate you. This makes our it made my day. It makes my day to see it's helping you. It's working. You see it working now.
I know, it's amazing. Yes, definitely. I mean, we love success stories, and we get so many of them. Guys, keep sending them in. We love to read them. And thank you so much, Ani, for coming on and sharing that.
Thank My
Amazing.
pleasure.
And guys, thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.